welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have June Edwards. He's a relationship specialist, a psychic medium, and an author. Welcome to the show, June.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome to the show. You are welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to talk. We'll be talking about, how to get in touch with the soul, with your soul. And this has a very wide meaning. So we'll try to understand all the meanings behind soul, purpose, and our existence. So my first question to you, June, is rather to understand is who is June Edward? How do you introduce yourself when you meet people? Those people who come to you, they know that they are coming to you. But how do you, say, suppose, meet someone in the lift or in a hotel lobby and they ask you, what do you do?
I'm a relationship expert, an author, a teacher, and a medium.
Okay. And do you get subsequent questions or they understand it immediately?
Well, I get all kinds of questions based on where their interest lies. A lot of people are very interested in mediumship. Some people are having issues in their own relationship with their marriage, and they might be very interested on how I'm a relationship expert. When I tell them an author, they might be interested in what books I've written. I've now written 5 books. They're all on my website, juneedward.com. And I also used to teach mediumship and psychic development, but now I teach people how to change their energy and get in touch with their soul so that they can learn the 5 lessons that they're here for their soul to learn and have an absolutely amazing life. And that's what I love to do the most.
Absolutely. Absolutely, June. So now let me ask you, you talk about your sister and that she has spent a lot of time in India and that you probably learned a few things from her. I want to know about, your sister's connection with India and in that aspect, your connection with India. And it's nice to see this word karma there in the background. In Hindi, we call it karma. In English, it's just the a get added because of the pronunciation karma. So help us understand about the India connection. What is it that you have got or understood in that better sense? I want to understand for the audience about your understanding about India and its, your connection with it.
So my sister, I come from a very large family, 8 children, and we were exposed to many different religions. And my sister gravitated to the Hindu religion from the time that we were young. And she actually legally changed her name to Mahalakshmi. And she lived in Venice Beach, California, and actually ran a soup kitchen on Venice Beach for many years. She would go around and get the food and get volunteers and take it back to her apartment and go down to the beach and feed the homeless people every afternoon. And she, because she was Hindu, she really enjoyed her ties, the connection to India. And she visited India many, many occasions, at least 6 or 7 times to my knowledge. In fact, she at one point met Mother Teresa when she was there. And she passed away, unfortunately, about 8 years ago, a little over 8 years ago now. And since she's passed to the other side, she has been one of my guides. And it's wonderful for her to still be able to connect with me and give me information from the other side and help me understand and learn some things that I don't understand. I did die when I was 27. I went to the other side and was told it was not my time. I could stay if I wanted to, or I could come back. And I came back here by choice. And since my energetic vibration is so high after going into the light, this is where quantum physics comes in with the speed of light, I have the opportunity to be able to connect to the other side and go back to that lowest level of heaven on a regular basis. And I can tell you that there is only one God, doesn't matter what you want to call him, Krishna, Buddha, it doesn't source energy, it doesn't matter. There's only one on the other side, and there's only love and knowledge. So we are the soul that's inside of us. We are not this body that we're sitting in. We chose this life that we came here for so that we could learn, play. It's a little bit of a vacation, because when you're on the other side, you're there for a lot longer than you're here. This is just, a blip in existence, to be honest. And yeah, she's very special to me. Very special.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now, June, let me understand for the audience. You talked about, at 27, you went to the other side. In human ways, we call it, uh, end of this present physical life.
Correct.
And then, so I want to understand through your experience. Many people have talked about it, but I want to understand from your experience, what does it look like? What does the other side look like? Secondly, you said that you came back because of your choice.
Correct.
So, do you go to the other side by your choice, or do you
So-
go to the other side by someone else's choice? In
So
that
we-
background, I want you to
Yes.
help us.
So we plan this lifetime. Okay, there are no accidents in this lifetime. Everything's connected. You're here to learn specific lessons, soul lessons. That's why you're here. And you can die outside of your life plan, first of all. That's the first thing. And on the other side, when you've died outside your life plan, someone that's committing suicide is dying outside their life plan. And that's the only exit that is not acceptable on the other side, because you wrote this plan, you have things that you need to do. And if you leave outside of your life plan, all the angels have to get together and change everything with everyone that you were supposed to be interacting with. Okay. The other side, I've only been allowed to make it to the lowest level of heaven, which they explained to me as the fifth dimension. Okay. I have seen what the rest looks like from the perspective that they show me. But the way they explained it to me is that it's like a layer cake. And you go to the layer based on the advancement of your soul. Okay. And you reincarnate from lifetime to lifetime with the same soul group of people. And this is where the karma comes in, because if you have karma that you need to pay or collect in a lifetime from previous lifetimes, those people will come through in this lifetime to interact with you. And you want to make sure in this lifetime that if you do something wrong to someone, that you make amends. And that way you don't create any more karma for your next lifetime. So it's both of my parents passed away at the age of 93. They passed away on the exact same day, the exact same age, 1 year apart. And I was with my mom when the angel came to take her to the other side, as well as some of her family members who came to take her to the other side. And when I asked the angel his name, he said it was Michael, not Michael, Michael. If he had said Michael, I wouldn't have looked it up. I researched it because he said Michael, and that is the angel that brings souls to the higher, more advanced souls to the higher realms on the other side. And when she went to the other side, she immediately went to my sisters, my two sisters that are there, and my mom and my dad. Yeah.
Right, Jude. When you went to the other side and came back, was it in a hospital, at your home? Were there doctors around? How did you explain it to your friends, family, and doctors if they were there? And what was the time duration when you were on the other side? Because as you said, that time duration can stretch. It's very long. It's a very
Right.
different
So time only exists for us. We created time. Okay. The rest of the universe doesn't have time. We created time to make some kind of sense out of a life that we can't have no control over. Okay. That's why we have routine and set alarm clocks. So I had injured my back when I was 21 or 22 and needed to have back surgery. And I kept putting it off because I just knew I was going to die. I knew it. That's that knowing, that's your soul. And when I was 27, I got to the point that I didn't have a choice. I had to go in and have the surgery. And I was afraid because I knew I was going to die. And friends and family are all, oh, you're just afraid, you'll be fine, everything will work out okay. So the night before the surgery, I had to have an MRI test done with dye. And I let them know that I think I'm allergic to the dye. I had it once before on a test, and I was very sick. I couldn't get off the table for hours. And they just poo-pooed it away and said, oh, it's a normal reaction. Don't worry about it. What do I know? I'm 27. I'm not a doctor, right? So sure enough, as soon as they gave me the injection of the dye, I coded immediately and I left my body. And I could see everything that was happening. I could hear everything that was happening, not just in the room, but the whole hospital. I could hear the nurses talking at the nurses' station. I saw them get the crash cart and come into the room. I saw them using the paddles and injecting the line and freaking out because it's not working and they're not bringing me back. And in the meantime, I'm on the other side, and it's just amazing. The feeling of love that you're wrapped in, and all the knowledge of all your lifetimes just comes back to you. And I'm watching this movie of my life play out in front of me. Everyone that I've loved, everyone that I've cared about, every special occasion that I've had. And then I hear this voice behind me telling me that it's really not my time. I can stay if I want to, or I could go back. It was my choice. And then I remembered my children. And if it were not for my children, I would have stayed. They are the only reason that I came back here, not for anyone or anything else. Because I knew that a lot of my life plan had to do with raising my children. And I hadn't had my third one yet. And he was definitely meant to be here. And that's the reason that I came back.
Right, June. You said you got the understanding of even past life during that time, and as well as the present life.
No, I had a review of my full life, the one that I was currently in. And
Okay.
since that time, I've gotten an education from the other side. So I do read Akashic records. I have looked into my own past life to find out why certain people are there, why certain things happen, and why do I have certain, trepidations in this lifetime, because I brought them through some other lifetimes. So this has all been my education and learning process since I came back.
Right. What did the doctors tell you? What did you tell the doctors? And how did the problem get resolved? Because it was a difficult situation medically that you were in, and you are hale and hearty, if I understand, sitting in front and talking about, such deep things and vibrant topic.
So, I saw them using the paddles. I saw them injecting the line, and he tipped the table up, trying to get the blood to rush to my head. And he was slapping me in the face, saying, "We can't lose you. We can't lose you." And then I made the decision to come back. So I was immediately back in my body. And the doctor was very relieved and said to me that you're very lucky that this was the end of my month doing these tests. Apparently he was a resident. He said, otherwise I wouldn't have known that there was a problem and you wouldn't be here. And I was like, I was just so stunned from what I just went through. I didn't say a word, or I should have just said, listen, if I didn't want to come back here, I wouldn't be here. But yeah, and I had the surgery the next day, and the surgery was successful.
Absolutely. Did your life change after that? Did your thinking process change after that? Did you become more stronger in terms of, as you can say now, you can go to the other side much more frequently, yes or no? And because you bring other souls from the from the other side and get people a closure and help loved ones heal on both sides. How do you do that? I want to understand through your experience.
So you would think that after that kind of experience, my life would change immediately, but it did not. That's not the path that I had written. I've had a very difficult life. I've done a lot of different things. And if I didn't have all those experiences, I wouldn't be able to help and connect with the people that I help, because you've got to walk a mile in their shoes, right? If somebody hasn't gone through something traumatic, how am I supposed to be able to counsel them on it? So I've been through a lot of trauma, and I continued to go through a lot of trauma until my life plan hit the wall. And that was about 8 years ago. And I started to, I went to have some Reiki done, first of all, because I needed to relax. And she recommended that I meditate. And I'm like, I can't meditate. I can't shut my brain off enough to meditate. And the first time that I tried it, it was like plugging my body into a wall socket again. My abilities opened up tenfold, and I immediately started seeing spirits from the other side again and knowing what was happening and knew everything about everybody. And I didn't know how to turn it off. It was overwhelming. So I had to search for people to teach me and train me on who am I talking with? What, how do I turn this on? How do I turn this off? But I was connecting to my soul through the meditation, and I was connecting to the other side through that meditation, which I teach and which I still do, and always protect myself first, because when you're opening yourself up for good, you're opening yourself up for evil. And then they just put me into different situations. I worked on missing person cases for missing people with the police departments. I've worked on a murder case. I've worked on paranormal investigations. I've worked with authors from other countries. I chased a demon out of a 3 family because no one else would help. And I've moved thousands of people on thousands of souls from this side to the other side that were stuck here as ghosts, because until you move on to the other side, your vibration is low. So our vibrations as humans are lower. When you're a ghost and you have not gone into that light, you have that same low vibration. Your soul only gets that high vibration back when you go into the light and you go to the other side. Then you can go back and forth at will, and it's just amazing.
Okay, so you mean either you call them souls or ghosts, they need a nudge to go from this side to the other side?
Some do, some don't. Some people see the light and they're afraid of it and they don't go into it. Every situation is a little bit differently. I've found a lot of children or people that have died of drug overdoses and alcohol. The children are still stuck here looking for their parents, so they haven't gone into the light. The people that have had drug overdoses or alcohol died from those think that they're going to be punished when they go to the other side, or they think that they let their parents down, things like that. So they're afraid to go into the other side. More often than not, it's fear that's stopping them from going into the light. A lot of people have done some pretty nasty things when they're on this side. And I had one soul that had committed murders and wanted to know what happens when he goes into the light. And I said, I can't tell you. But I can tell you that anyone that has taken a life and has not been remorseful for it is not in heaven. They're not on that side. And I don't work with dark entities and dark spirits. So I do believe that they're downstairs, not upstairs. So he wouldn't go into the light because he knew he was going to be punished.
Right, June. You talk about, that soul, afterlife, this life, and then heaven, earth, God. So where do we go? Where does the soul go when they go into the light? Where is the afterlife then? Where does the
It's everywhere. It's all around us. It's everywhere. It's the entire universe. A lot of souls that have passed to the other side, you're the same person. You just don't have a body. So if you were a jerk here, you're a jerk there. Okay. But a lot of people are doing things that they wanted to do when they were here in this body and didn't have an opportunity. So I find that a lot of souls on the other side, when I'm bringing them through, are traveling. They're enjoying watching plays, musicals, playing instruments, doing different things that they didn't have the opportunity to do when they were here. And they live vicariously through us. So the old adage of set an extra plate at the dinner table and they'll join you for dinner is absolutely true. If you want them to show up for you, all you have to do is say their name and they'll be right next to you immediately, because they do not want to be forgotten. And I found that we only reincarnate about every 300 to 400 of our years, okay, which is about 12 to 1500 on the other side. So they wait until everybody they know is gone, and the grandkids and the great grandkids, they wait before they reincarnate again. And then they come down here to get in the body and have a little vacation and learn, because you learn faster here than you do on the other side. And you also learn faster within a relationship here than you do on the other side. So we're here for a vacation, have some fun, because there's lots of things that you need a body to do, right? You can't eat, you can't have sex, there's lots of things. You can't taste things, lots of things you can't do without a body. So it's a little bit of a break, and it's the blink of an eye when you think about the amount of time that goes by that we're really here for. It's really a blink of an eye.
Okay. So we reincarnate, we come onto this planet for vacation, or to wipe away all the sins and karma, and and get back to the rightful position, as they say, you become a part of the Almighty. How do you look at it?
So your soul is always learning, always. Okay. I think the only soul, or whatever it is source energy that has all the knowledge. I don't think there's any soul out there other than source energy that has all the knowledge. Our souls are always learning. We're always progressing, and we come here not just to learn, but to help each other. Okay. And even when you're collecting or paying karma, you're doing it in a way that is helping the soul growth of both people. That's the point. That's the whole point of the karma. It's not because I stole money from you, so you're going to come back in the next life and you're going to make me a millionaire. No, because they stole money from you, they may come back. Maybe they're going to be one of your employees, and they're going to work that debt off for you. And be your best employee, because their soul is going to grow and learn from whatever it was. It's just like when a husband cheats on his wife. Well, it had nothing to do with the wife. It was written into his plan. Maybe in a past life, she cheated on him and she needs to know what it feels like. So they came back in this lifetime, and they're playing it out so her soul can grow and understand. So there's reasons behind everything. And if you look at the higher meaning and don't get stuck in the mundane 3D earth situation, you'll understand why things are happening, and you can rise above them. You can learn the lesson, and you can still live an absolutely amazing life.
Right, right. What is our connection with our soul, universe, God? Why have all these things been created? Is it for a purpose, or is it to take away a difficult road to the same place? And it is almost like, Disneyland, some sort of a slide coming back to the same waters of, heaven, or whatever it is.
So, there are a lot of people that don't have difficult lives. Okay. There are a lot of people that, I'm not sure if anyone here is familiar with the Destiny Card program, which is astrology and numerology, but I read that program. And, we are not supposed to have, some people have very easy lives. Okay. They've been married to the same person for 50 years. They've worked the same job for 50 years. They had 1 or 2 children. They had the perfect everything for the most part. Okay. Till they get older in life, and then the lessons that they were supposed to be learning kick in. But that's the life they planned, okay? What I found are people that have more difficult lives, myself included. We're here for a higher purpose. We're here to help other souls to learn. Why we were all created, I don't know. Maybe it's just some grand design of some... I couldn't tell you. I don't have all the answers. Absolutely not. I can only tell you what I know. And if I don't know, I can't tell you. And I'm not going to guess, because I don't have a clue. But I know that we do reincarnate. I do know that we go and move through our soul groups with the same souls every reincarnation. Not always the same souls, because soul groups are huge. Every archangel has a soul group. So there are millions of people in each soul group. I can tell you that angels are real. They exist. They're here to help us. They were never human. They're a separate race. And I can tell you that, I was one of the worst ones. Oh, God, there's no such thing as angels, saints. People would have these little statues in their cars. Believe me, it's all about energy. They all have power. There is good and evil exist everywhere. And right now, it's out of balance. The universe has to stay in balance. Right now, it's very out of balance. There is more evil on the world right now than there is good. And that needs to change. It needs to go back. It's always going this way, that way, but it needs to be in balance. And everything serves a purpose. You would not understand good if you hadn't seen evil, right? You wouldn't understand love if you didn't have fear. You wouldn't understand happy if you'd never been sad. So there is an opposite for everything so that everything in the universe can stay in balance. And this is how we learn. But it needs to get back into that balance. And we choose to come back here. Some people, don't reincarnate very often. And, the average reincarnation that I found, like I said, is 300 to 400 of our years. But there's been exceptions. I had a murder victim that I brought through, was trying to bring through for a family member, and I could not bring her through. So her family members came through and said, she's not here. She reincarnated immediately as soon as she was murdered. And that is the exception to the rule, but it happens. There's exceptions to every rule, always, everywhere.
Who decides these things?
You decide. You decide it's time that you want to come back, but you just can't come back, okay? Before you come back, you actually have to, it's like making up a board game, okay? Picture yourself making a Monopoly game. You choose what you want to learn, who you want to be, what you want to do, and then who do you owe for karma that you want to pay back, who you want to collect from, who are you coming through with. It's a very long process to plan out your life before you come back here again. And you have to work with the archangel and the angels in order to make sure that you are ready. So for instance, if someone commits suicide, and I've known people on the other side that have committed suicide that have spent 30 years, our years, which is only about 10 of their years maybe, before they've gone and gotten help and realized that it was unacceptable. Next time they come back, they won't do it again. Other souls I've known on the other side that I've brought through people that have been there 30, 40 years, they don't want to get help. They're not ready yet. So until they are, they're not going to be reincarnating and coming back. Because if you leave outside of the plan, you've created a lot more work for everybody else.
Right, June. Just a few minutes back, you used a very good word, grand design. That's what a lot of scientists also use, grand design, grand fabric of the universe. So I just, instinctively just thought of how science and spirituality many a times can overlap.
So I guarantee you, so science doesn't explain everything, okay? They can't quantify everything. And this is why they call, when I died, they call it an NDE, a near-death experience. They call it a near-death experience because they can't quantify it. They can't duplicate it even though they've tried and come back, okay? So they call it an NDE. But I can tell you that they will absolutely be able to prove everything through quantum physics. And again, when my soul went into the light, now when you look at the speed of light, right, it's so many hundreds of thousands of miles per hour, whatever it is, that's now the speed of my soul. And then it goes back into my body at that speed. So my body vibrates at a much higher vibration than someone who hasn't passed and come back into their body. And I attribute that for my ability to be able to connect to the other side so quickly and so easily and obtain a lot of the information that I do because, I still have 1 foot here and 1 foot there more often than not.
Right.
But yeah, they'll eventually prove it for you because we're energy.
Right.
And energy cannot be created. It can only be changed, right? It can be created or it cannot be destroyed. It can be created or changed. It can't be destroyed. So your energy has to go somewhere, right?
Absolutely. Talking of soul, June, when soul is within us, it is very much us. Why are we several times or many of this in the world? And as you said, nowadays there is more evil. Why are we so disconnected with our souls? And that is where you later. So I want to understand, is soul good or bad? Because how does it work?
Your soul is who you are. You're not the suit that's sitting in front of me. I'm not this suit. I am the soul that's inside. That's who you really are. Okay? When you take the suit off, your soul is still there. It's on the other side. You just can't see it. I can see it because I can see energy, but most people can't see it. Okay? So the reason that you're disconnected is because you came here to live a 3D life in this body. When a baby is born, when a baby is small, they're still very connected to the other side, not this side yet. So it's been wonderful for me because I've been able to have conversations with the little ones when they're still, a few months old, and ask them, what's your life plan? What are you going to do here? Why are you here? And it's great. So once you start to lose that other side and take on the plan and the body and the person that you came here to experience, okay, you start operating more out of your head. So everyone has a brain in their head for the most part, right? Well, your brain is nothing more than a supercomputer, and it helps you process all the information that you're given and make decisions in your life. But when you're making those decisions from your brain and not your soul, it's not always the right decision. Okay? Your brain has a specific job. Your brain's job is to protect you. How does it do that? It does it by creating fear. So most people are making their decisions from fear, not their soul. When you make your decisions from your head in fear, it's literally a crapshoot. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, but you're always questioning yourself, okay? When you make your decision from your soul, it's always the right decision, 100% of the time, okay? And it will always work out the way it's supposed to. Even if you don't think it's working out the way it's supposed to the first time. Let's say you made a decision from your soul. I met this woman. I love her to death. I'm going to marry her. I know I'm supposed to be with her. Have a couple of kids. 10 years down the road, you're divorced. Oh, it must have been a wrong decision. No, it was the right decision. You have 2 beautiful children that you had together. Maybe that was the reason that you were together. You have to look for the reason behind it. What's the why? What's the why?
Right, right. We have to accept, we should accept more of what we have got and the way life has gone by, maybe rather than questioning it too much. I want to understand then, yeah, carry on. Then
Well, it's about trust. You have to trust that there is a higher power and that you made a plan and that the things that are coming into your life are coming into your life for you, to help you, because that's why they're being brought to you. And if you can make the decision, anything that's brought to you, I don't care if it's a new job, listen to your soul. If you're connected to your soul, you'll know, am I supposed to take it or am I not supposed to take it? If your soul is always the right decision 100% of the time. And that's what I teach people how to do. Get in touch with your soul.
how do we do that? Is there a simple way or a difficult way that it can happen much more than
So,
it happens now?
so you have to raise your vibration, first of all. Okay. So how do you raise your vibration? The easiest way is through meditation to connect to it. Okay. The second way is through laughter, music, dance, gratitude, all of those things, joy, love. Love is the highest vibration there is. All of those things help you raise your vibration and get in touch with your soul. So even when I was not meditating, when I was happy, when I was in love, when I was listening to music and joyful, I could easily hear my soul telling me something was right or something was wrong. People read energy. You can walk into a room and you can feel the energy in the room. These people you walk into a funeral, right? Everybody's depressed. You can feel that energy immediately. Walk into a wedding. Everybody's on a high. You feel that energy immediately. You have to be able to feel the energy and connect to your soul because it's energy.
Right. What is it that your clients want from you most? What have you felt? You have dealt with thousands of people. What is it
Most
that they want from you? What is it that they are happy about or they regret most about?
So most people that come to me because they're in despair. They don't know what to do in their life anymore. It could be that someone passed. It could be a lot of times it's a relationship situation because yes, you can die of a broken heart. you have a physical body here. When your physical body is challenged and you don't know how to meander the struggle, to get through it, what should I be doing? How do I fix it? What do I do? These are the people that come to me. And I mean, I could tell you story after story, people that just get out of prison and have lost everything. They got divorced. Their family won't talk to them. Their friends have disowned them. They don't have a job. They don't have a clue. And they're ready to commit suicide. Those are a lot of people that come to me are verging on suicide. And I can help them understand why things are happening, how to navigate it, how to turn your life around so it can be absolutely amazing, because that's what it's supposed to be. Everyone came here to live an amazing life, absolutely amazing. And there's no reason it shouldn't be. People focus too much on what they don't have versus what they do have. And if you're grateful for the things that you have, the universe will bring you more of what it is you want.
That's the simple rule of the universe. The more you show gratitude, the more the universe gives you.
Yes. The universe will always bring you what you want. It always will. It may not be in the time frame that you want. Again, we created time here. They didn't create time there. So they will always bring it when it is the right time, when you've learned what it is that you need to learn and you're ready to accept it, or the other person has learned what they need and they're ready for it. But everything will come to you that you ask and want for, and you have to know that and believe that. And you have to understand that nothing is being done to you. If someone is mean to you, it's got nothing to do with you. Things are being done for you. Okay? Maybe maybe you need to separate from that person. Maybe they shouldn't be in your energy field. Maybe they're lowering your vibration. Everything that happens for a reason. Everything. Even people, if people say to me, "Oh, you're trying to tell me that the guy that's a drug addict on the street or an alcoholic, he chose that life." He did. It's a challenge that he wrote into his life plan. And if they can rework that challenge and move that addiction into something positive, that's the challenge that they wrote for themselves into this life plan. Yeah, they value different things than someone else does. It's just that simple. It's not, they're not bad people. Then, they've got to get out of their head, get in touch with their soul, and put their energy into what it's supposed to be being put into.
Right. There is much to learn from you, June. And this is just one podcast episode. As I said, there is so much to learn about this life, our soul, universe, afterlife, God, hundreds of other things. So, and for that, people will have to come to you, talk to you, learn from your books. Tell us about your book. Five love lessons, or this one. Is this the new book?
This is my new book. It's all fair in love and karma. And it's 5 steps to mastering your relationship. And we all come here to learn the same 5 things for our soul. And the first one is self-worth. Okay. Everything comes from that. If you can't take care of yourself, you're not going to be here to take care of someone else. You have to understand that you are worth more than the value that other people place on you, because you are the only one that's on the face of this earth. How wonderful is that God thought they needed you and they created you. Okay. The second lesson is money and balance. And everything in the universe has to stay in balance. And in this world, we use money to learn balance and learn when you're out of balance. Okay, that's why when you go to buy groceries, it's an even exchange, right? You pay for what you get. This is how it works. The third thing is trust and communication. So you have to be able to trust someone enough to communicate with them your wants and your needs. And communication is just another form. Sex is just another form of communication in the bedroom. If you can't communicate out of the bedroom, you can't communicate in the bedroom. And if you don't trust someone enough to communicate with them, you're not going to communicate with them enough to end up trusting them. It's a loop. Okay. And you have to trust that there's a higher power, there's a plan, and that everything's happening for a reason. And then you have unconditional love. And that's a hard one for a lot of people because their feelings get hurt. Okay. They are very emotional. Well, your emotions are just the outward expression of your feelings, okay, which is you're responsible for your feelings. If I say something nasty to you and you take it, you're hurt by it. I didn't hurt you. You took it that way. Your feelings are your responsibility, okay? Unconditional love is being able to say, I love you, I care about you, I don't necessarily want you in my life. Okay, I can want the best for you, and I can walk away knowing that I have self-worth, right? Just a small example, suppose you had a child and they did something horrible, like murdering a neighbor in rage, or somebody in a car accident, and they go to prison for the rest of their life. You're not going to like what the child did, but hopefully you're still going to love the child, right? That's unconditional love. And then the last lesson that we all need to learn is patience. And we live in a world where everyone wants everything now. Instant gratification. They want you to answer the text message now, answer the phone now, deliver my pizza now. It's everything. Nobody even wants to take the time for anything anywhere anymore. And again, we created time. Time does not exist anywhere else in the universe. Do you know if you go out, if an astronaut goes up in space and he's up there for, I think it's 30 years, say he's 21 when he leaves and he goes up there for 30 years and he comes back to Earth. Everybody they went to high school was going to be 51, right? How old do you think he's going to be? 21. Okay, because time is different. Every time you're in an airplane, you lose, you gain a couple of seconds of your life, believe it or not. It's only a couple seconds, but we created time. So you have to have patience and know that everything that you want in life, in this lifetime, will come to you when the time is right, and have the patience enough to be able to wait for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As I said, there is much to learn from you. So those people who want to learn from you and connect with you for obvious reasons, what's the best way for them to do so?
They can go to my website, juneedward.com. They can also go to 5lovelessons.com, and that will also take you to my website. And everything that you need is there. There are links to all my books. You can schedule an appointment with me. I have a blog, so you can listen to some of my stories and some of my readings that I've done. And you can connect with me there as well. You can send me a message or an email if you'd like. I'm also on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Truth. I'm on all of them. LinkedIn. I also do public speaking. If somebody's looking for a speaker, I also do workshops. I'm more than happy to do that as well.
Absolutely. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great week.